Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Tokyo. How are you? I'm John Dog. This is the Only Japan Go channel, and I'm going to be answering your questions about spring travel in Japan. 2020. This is going to be a tough one because it's a little bit more complicated than last year in 2019. A lot of things have changed, as you know, the current situation that's going on all around the world, but that doesn't mean that there aren't travelers here in Japan, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't come and visit entirely because yeah, there is actually no do not come sign right now in Japan. So that means people are going to be coming. And I'm going to be here to help you. Whether you come or you don't come, that's what this is all about. We have a bunch of questions from the Discord server. We also have a bunch of questions from Patreon. And we have you that is watching out there. And I'm going to do my best to try to swing between all of these and answer some of them because I'm right here on the ground. Now, when are the cherry blossoms going to be blooming? And this is the first question that a lot of people have been asking me the most. And the answer is next week. It'll start in Tokyo. Actually, the real answer is that it's already kind of started in Tokyo because there's different varieties of cherry blossoms. A lot of you probably know this or you don't. But cherry blossoms, there's dozens of varieties of cherry blossoms. The Kanzakura and the Kawazakura, that's two varieties of them, have been blooming since the end of February. And I've actually put some of the pictures on the Instagram page, which is right here, in case you want to go and check that out, Only Japan TV. On the Instagram page, yeah, there's been some pretty good pictures, and you could probably search cherry blossoms and you'll come up with a bunch of pictures already. So if you're in Tokyo now, you're going to see a ton of them on the riversides, but the majority of them, the other ton, are the Some Yoshino. They're the beautiful white ones that you see. They're the beautiful white ones that you will see on the riversides all over Japan, in the parks, in the mountains. The white Some Yoshino are absolutely stunning. Some Yoshino. And those will be blooming. They start probably on the 15th of March, I want to say. The first indicator tree, the index tree, is at Yasukuni Shrine, which is, I don't know, a few kilometers away from me, actually. Last year I went and checked it out. That bloomed around the 16th or 17th of March. This year I bet you it's going to be about 2 or 3 days earlier, maybe even earlier, maybe 4. I'm not sure. But from there, it takes about a week to 8 or 9 days before it's full bloom. So I'm guessing it's going to be around March 23rd that Tokyo is in full bloom, which is pretty early this year. Also depending on the weather after they bloom, whether or not they come out. How long they stay on the tree, usually about 4 or 5 days. And then before the end of March, the first wind or the first rain just kind of scatters them. The first rain puts them on the ground into the rivers as they float like a layer of white petals. It's so beautiful to see even that. And then the green sprouts start to come through, and spring is here. That's what's so beautiful about the cherry blossoms. And that's a reason I think that most people will come to Japan for the spring. So where are the hot spots for travel for cherry blossoms? Well, at this time of year, it's not Tokyo, believe it or not. And a lot of people are coming to Japan, come here, and they're asking me where are the best spots in Tokyo. I don't like Tokyo for cherry blossom viewing. I think it's something that you go out to the countryside to enjoy. You want to be out in nature and make that connection between the cherry blossoms. And this year, most of the cherry blossom festivals have been canceled. Now, the city cannot stop the cherry blossoms from opening. They're all going to be open and you can go and see them. But the illuminations and the food stands and things like this year have been suspended in almost everywhere. I don't think that there were any notifications that any were staying open that I know of. But out in the countryside, it's a lot smaller and it's never really about that. The festival is outside. And there's not as many people in some of the local parks, and that makes it an ideal place to really, I wouldn't say celebrate, because it's not the mood of the world right now to celebrate, but to go out, like life continues on, and you still have to appreciate nature, and that's, I think, what spring is about. It's reflecting on life, and we still have to do that no matter what the conditions are around the world, I believe. At least I do, because I live here. But for tourists, for you coming here, I think look at the second and third level cherry blossom places, and you're probably going to be a little bit happier. I'm recommending to people who do come, you can still get the JR pass. I think it's an amazing value, but I'm asking people who have international driver's license, maybe renting a car is a little bit better on this trip. If you're coming with a family, I would say you're better off renting a car than taking any public transportation at this time of year. And having an international driver's license is all it takes. It just depends if your country has the same has signed the same laws that allow you to rent cars in Japan. I think Indonesia was one of the country. Peso, one of our viewers told me Indonesia is one of the countries that can't because of a different convention that they signed. But the majority of countries can rent cars here in Japan, and it offers a gateway into the countryside. You kind of need a car to be out there, and you can navigate to all of the cherry blossom spots. I recommend getting out of the city anyways with the times that we're in. The big spot for cherry blossoms that's always been number one is Yoshino in Nara Prefecture, Mount Yoshino, Yoshinoyama. I actually went there in an Only in Japan episode like 7 years ago, and I showed that in one of the first episodes I ever put up on YouTube, and it's a spectacular place. It'll start blooming around the 24th of March, and it goes all the way until about April 5th. The reason why the window is bigger there is because it's at elevation. So at lower elevations, they will bloom. And then as these start to wither, the higher elevations will start to bloom. And as the month of April, you start into the month of April, you'll just see the progression. But I think it's around April 1st, maybe, you can see the entire mountain is really at its best. And there are I think they said something between 10 and 50,000 cherry blossom trees, hundreds of varieties. They say, it really is a spectacular. It's like a fireworks of spring, of pastel colors, of pink and white and everything in between. And yeah, it's a really spectacular sight. But cherry blossoms to me has been something, and with spring travel, when it came to cherry blossoms, because I live here, it's always been about the connection with the tree, and I will just stay in local. A lot of people are going to be just staying in local neighborhoods. There's neighborhoods all over Tokyo that people are just going to find a tree and sit down, and that's their party. You don't have to go to a tourist spot to enjoy the point is, you don't have to go to a popular tourist spot like Ueno Park to enjoy the cherry blossoms. Sometimes that's actually not really the same level of enjoyment as you go out into the countryside. So that should answer the majority of the questions that I've been getting about spring travel. Maybe renting a car. If you do travel, definitely take the precautions that we've been talking about for the last couple of months here. Yeah, so another question that I got was up in Hokkaido. When is the best time in Hokkaido? And I would say it would be after. This comes from Marty. The best time to go up to see the cherry blossoms in Hokkaido would be in May, actually. April 30th to May 15th about. It's later up there. So if you miss the cherry blossoms in Tokyo, you'll be able to catch them up in Hokkaido just a little bit after that. Let's see here. Hey, Kai's in the house. Aloha. Please enjoy coffee, or do you see lychee flavor in foods in Japan? I do see some lychee flavors. It just depends on the season. And Elaine says to keep it up. You got it, Elaine. Tomorrow, by the way, Kanai and I are renting a car, and we're going out to Mount Fuji for the day. We just got to get out of Tokyo a little bit. So I'm going to preach. I'm going to do what I preach, okay? So I'm going to go and rent a car tomorrow and take you with me on a couple of live streams. This is Monday in Japan. I'm going to take you. So tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, you're going to get a chance to see Mount Fuji with Kanai and I, and we're going to take you on a trip. We're going to drive around Mount Fuji and then just come back. And it's going to give Kanai a chance to practice driving. I think in the spring, it's a time where you want to be outdoors a little bit. The weather gets nicer the further you get into April. And it's not just about the cherry blossoms. So despite all that you're seeing in the news about the cancellations, the cherry blossoms have always been a really nice. This year, it's not going to be very crowded at all, obviously. But for me, the best time to come for spring is in the beginning of May. After the Golden Week, which is maybe after May 5th or 6th, the weather's beautiful. That is the #1 best premium golden super ultra time to visit Japan, is like May 6th to May 20th. It is awesome. Before the rainy season. In fact, just the whole month of May is really, really, it's warm. There's some showers, not a lot. You can probably get away with wearing shorts, but it's not so hot and humid that you're sweating it out. When you get into the middle of June, then it's ridiculous and it's the rainy season. But May is the best. What do you want to do? You want to get outdoors as much as possible and really enjoy it. Some of the places that you want to go to in May, at the end of May, Fukushima's Ose National Park is one of the most spectacular places to just hike through and see the nature. Going up into the Japanese Alps as well in May is amazing. You'll find some of the cherry blossoms blooming up in the mountains in the Japanese Alps in late April and early May as well. So that makes it worthwhile. And then there's the onsen travel, staying in a ryokan. There's hiking again. You can go outside once again. It's the days are getting longer. There's so many reasons why coming in May is better than coming in March. Anyway. So thanks so much for these questions here. David Kimura, you're very welcome for the Q&A. I'm looking for more questions. And la 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 la. Thank you so much for the support. Much appreciated. Let's get into some more of the live questions here. I'm also going to be taking some questions via Discord. So if you're interested in the general chat or the travel question and answer, here's the link for Discord. This has been a really amazing community here. If you can see that here, http discord.gg/onlyinjapan. And this is free for everybody. You just download it and you become a member automatically. It's free. The general chat and all of these categories are open to you, where you can discuss visiting here with people that are already here. And if you do come here, you always have a sort of a friend that you can talk to on the server, as well as a voice chat option, which is pretty cool. We have 31 boosters, Nitro boosters, which means that we can upload more videos and do some amazing things. So the community there is really, really nice. We have some great moderators in there. And I'll try to do a Discord talk in about 10 minutes after I answer some of your questions here. I haven't been looking at the screen very much. So Brenda writes in here, I'll be going in May to Hokkaido, Sapporo. Any news there? We really don't know. I'm not going to talk, I don't want to focus on the world situation right now. This is more about general travel in Japan, but it's hard to separate that. I completely understand. I've been addressing this through live streams out there, taking you with me into different locations around not just Tokyo, but I want to do it around Japan. And that gives you an idea of what you have here at this very moment. More than anything that we talk about, you can see it by observing on this channel. To me, that's the most valuable thing. For you to make a decision whether or not you want to make the trip here. When it comes to travel in May, I can't even see, to be perfectly honest with you, I cannot even see past 2 weeks from now. I'm taking it almost week by week and almost day by day. Every Monday we see what's been going on over the last few days from the weekend, and there's just a lot of uncertainty in Japan right now, I think. And the best thing, if you have travel plans. And I'm probably talking to all of you right now that are maybe watching this because you're also worried about whether you should cancel your trip or not. I can't tell you what to do either way. All right, there's pros and there's cons to both sides of them, and I've addressed them in various live streams already. But when it comes to traveling in May, I think if you're going to cancel, you can and you will cancel without taking a hit and can get it refunded, then it should be good to do that. But I think it's kind of a wait and see type of a situation, and as flights cancel and as governments cancel things, then flights automatically are canceled and you have to be refunded anyway. So I think it's a situation, if you're unsure, just wait, and probably it'll be either canceled or there'll be a reason why you can't go that's much stronger than right now. It's very hard to talk directly to your anxieties and the things that worry you about traveling to Japan now, but I'll tell you, I've traveled around, and I've even the day before yesterday I met other visitors from Western countries, and I asked them if they were worried, and they all said that they were concerned and just taking precautions. But they said that nobody said that it wasn't worth it, and nobody said that they weren't having a good time, and nobody said that they felt in danger. Is that the right way to put it? Everybody felt like I'm really happy to be in Japan, and I like the fact that there's no crowds. And I asked them about if there's a lot of attractions that are closed now. Spring travel this year is going to be a little bit different, and we just do not know if there's things going to be open in after the 15th or 16th. It's very hard to tell right now. I do know this. The Prime Minister has said he's going to give a speech on the 10th, which is the, probably you won't hear about it until the 10th. It'll be our 11th but by the time you hear about it. But he's going to address this and then see what the next 2 weeks are like in Japan. Right now, many of the attractions are closed, but it's not spring. It's still winter technically. So on a technicality, it's hard to see what spring is going to be like. That's why I'm addressing this now. I'm talking about the spring without this. But I just wanted to get that out of the way. We cannot even look that far in the future because many of the things that are closed now are because the Prime Minister has asked politely. He can't order it. He doesn't have the power to call a state of emergency, but he has the power to ask politely, and people will follow the leaders because it makes a lot of sense. What will it be like? I don't know. In May, I'm not sure. I just say wait and see as long as you can and feel out the situation, and you will get an idea of it a few weeks before you have to travel. It's still too far. So if you're going to ask me about the summer, don't even. This is about I'm just talking about the spring. I'm just talking about the spring. Did he request it to be called for the... I don't know, but the lawmakers are going to vote on this next week, and it'll make it easier for the Prime Minister to deal with emergencies. So I think it's something that's kind of necessary right now. So I know that the criticism that he's been taking, some of it is earned, of course, any politician, but I can't say that he's been doing a pretty, and you can disagree, a pretty good job with handling this, better than other leaders. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Sean writes in here, coming to Japan in May, going to Tokyo to Kyushu. Thanks for all the videos, John. You've made me fall in love with Japan over the years. Thanks, Sean. Oh man, that's nice to hear. I'm glad that you like Japan. Have fun in Mount Fuji. Enjoy a drink on me with Kanai. This is from Suihi24. Thank you. Yeah, I'm taking you with me, so you get a chance to see this tomorrow. Mount Fuji, it's supposed to be a clear day, so it should be nice for you to take a look at it. I'll try to do a driving live stream like I did with Mike and Peter a few weeks ago, so that'll work out okay. Do you recommend, this is from Colonel Casey87, do you recommend rental cars for day trips or for longer duration trips, and where can you park without paying an arm and a leg? These are very good questions. Look, you can rent a car for as little as 3 hours. I like Toyota Rent-A-Car. It might even be the most expensive one, but it's not that much more expensive. The reason why I always go with them is because I always go to the same barber too, you know. It's a guy thing maybe. But you can use any rental car company that you like. Toyota and Nippon Rent-A-Car are two of the biggest, and they have pretty good service. And I don't feel like I'm going to get fleeced by them like the other rent-a-car agencies in the U.S. I never feel like I'm going to get that, and I'll pay a little bit more for that. I think if you can get a 3-hour rental, but that's not a lot of time to go out there. 6-hour rentals, usually you'll have about a 30% discount on renting it 24 hours. So you can save a little bit of money, but you rent for what you need. If you only need the car for 4 hours and you want to go out to Mount Fuji, take some pictures, and come back, and 6 hours is enough, you probably get a 25 to 30% cheaper doing a 6-hour rental than a 24-hour rental. The 24-hour rentals, you save maybe like $15 depending on the car for a 12-hour and a 24-hour rental. But if you don't need it for 24 hours, then you don't rent it for 24 hours, and you save on the parking, right? Parking outside of the city is like really cheap. You don't pay an arm and a leg. In fact, a lot of the places are free. It's only if you're going to be driving around in the city, which makes no sense because public transportation is great. But in this time of year, I can't say not to rent a car. The problem is you're going to pay an arm and a leg to park that thing. Daytime rates can be like $2 for 15 minutes or more. That's maybe average in the center of Tokyo, about $2 to $3 for 15 minutes. Some of them will do like 500 yen or $5 for 30 minutes, which is maybe cheaper. But there's day rates, and then there's night rates, where if you pull in after 10 p.m., if you leave before 6 a.m., it's only $10. So it just depends on the parking lot. And Google Maps is pretty good at finding them and then seeing the signs so you can see what the rates are. Or you can go into Times, Times, which is the biggest parking lot company in the city of Tokyo, and I believe Osaka as well. I think they have a place where you can see the rates at each one of the parking lots, depending on the property. You're going to pay a lot if you rent a car and you park in the city of Tokyo. That's why Kanai and I are renting the car at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we'll be coming back at 7 p.m. And we don't have to pay to park the car in the city. We're not driving in the city. We're driving out of the city, and then we'll come back and return the car. To me, that's the best way. That's a great day trip. It takes 4 hours and 45 minutes to go from Tokyo and drive one time around Mount Fuji and come back. So 4 hours and 45 minutes. You can go to Fuji Yoshida, and then you can come all the way around, and then go to Fujinomiya, and then come back through Yokohama back into Tokyo. So that's just a trip that I kind of mapped out. 4 hours and 45 minutes, but with the stops, probably add in another 3 hours. So I figured it's going to be 7 hours drive around. Driving streams are a lot of fun. Let's see here. How's the situation in Nagoya? Nagoya is yeah, I think it's the third. It's the place with the third. It's a little bit challenging there. I'll be honest with you, but again, like the situation is not nearly as challenging as other places, and just give it some time. I think I don't want to talk too much about that, but Nagoya is really nice in the spring. I used to live in Nagoya in Fujigaoka, which is an area inside of Nagoya, as well as Kasugai and Toyohashi and Okazaki was the first city I lived in. Okazaki Park is beautiful in Aichiken. It's the Mikawa region of Japan, so it's known for fireworks, stone masonry, and the beautiful Okazaki Park I like there and I went to cherry blossoms many times. If you're in the Aichi area, Okazaki Park I highly recommend, as well as some of the parks. What's the one with the shrine and the imperial mirror that only the emperor can look at? That shrine also had a really beautiful cherry blossoms around it. Nagoya is a nice area. Inuyama is a nice place with really fantastic cherry blossoms up there, as well as Gifu, which isn't too far away from Nagoya. You can take the Meitetsu train or JR to get over there, and spend some time in Gifu, look up to Gifu Castle, and then I think they had cherry blossoms along the river there. It's a beautiful place. Worth buying multi-day Tokyo subway tickets? If so, can you buy two at the same time I've never bought multi-day tickets because only foreign visitors can buy subway multi-day tickets, and I think you have to buy that from the airport or from an office. I've never had one of those. The one-day subway passes for Toei, it's 700 yen. On holiday periods like that, I think that's coming. We just had one. Like holiday periods, it's 500 yen for a day pass on the Toei subway line, which is a steal. The Metro, which is the 24-hour one, they're the two subway lines in Tokyo. Metro is 600 yen for 24 hours. That means if you buy it at 3 p.m., you have until the next day, 3 p.m. That's a 24-hour pass. You can get Toei and Metro together for 900 yen. Then you can ride both of those, but that ends at the end of the day at midnight or a little bit after, to the last train. So sometimes the Metro is a better deal, I think. I don't know too much about the multi-day passes, but I'll be honest with you. The subway multi-day passes does not include JR unless you get a Tokyo like a Tokyo wide pass or what is it called, the All Tokyo pass, which includes JR. But I don't think that's worth it because, to be honest with you, I think now I would stay away from public transportation and rent a bicycle. You can rent bicycles so cheap, and you can get around. Usually it takes about the same amount of time on a bicycle as it does to take the subway. I'm being honest with you. I can ride my bicycle across the city in about 30 to 35 minutes, and maybe it takes me about 20 minutes on the subway. So by the time I walk down, wait for the train, catch the train, go to the other station, walk out of the station, I just tack on another 10 minutes and I can ride my bicycle there. So I want you to just keep that in mind. Bicycles should be an option if you're coming into Japan and renting them, because the subway stations. The other thing that I want to tell you is Tokyo is a pretty compact city within the Yamanote line, and um, you you can walk quite often. Just take, if you have two or three people, sometimes a taxi is cheaper and faster because you save time, and then just getting close and then walking to the destination, it works out better than riding the subway. I'm just gonna say that because a lot of times you don't need to go around the city to 7 or 8 places. That's sort of a waste of time. You want to spend some time in certain areas. Taxis sometimes can fill in the gap if you have more than one person. But renting a bicycle is the best way. And since we're talking about spring, bicycling is amazing in Japan. You might want to bring your own helmet, though, if you're going to be doing a lot of bicycling and you're worried about that. I don't wear a helmet. I think helmets are... I often say, why don't we wear a helmet in cars? There's more people are injured with head injuries in car accidents than they are by bicycles, by falling off of a bicycle. So I never wear a helmet because I don't wear one in a car. But I'm just an idiot. So you can bring your own helmet, but if you rent a bicycle in Japan, they often do not have that as an option to rent a helmet. So if you feel more comfortable, you're coming with kids, you might want to bring your own helmet if you're intending to rent a bicycle. I think riding around the city of Tokyo, and I don't know too much about Osaka for riding a bicycle, but Tokyo has been improving, where you can ride on the side of the streets with the cars, and there's a blue lane that you can ride on now that separates you from the pedestrians on the sidewalk, and that makes it a lot easier to get around the city. Just follow the blue bike lanes, and the traffic is getting used to that as well. There are more bicyclers now than there were 5 years ago, and sometimes people will park in the wrong spot. You can just flow with the traffic and go around it. Drivers in Tokyo are pretty good at being careful about that. Yeah. You can't take a Addy. You can take a bike on a train if it folds up. So I talked to JR. This is a great question. I talked to JR about this. So if you're thinking about bicycling around Japan, totally you should do it. If you want to bring your own bicycle, don't let it stop you. I took a big bicycle and I brought it on the Shinkansen. The rule is that the bicycle must be wrapped up or packaged. Okay. Don't bring a bicycle on the Shinkansen when it's really, really crowded. Just be polite about it. Don't go on a peak time with your bicycle, okay? The second thing is, if you can fit your bicycle into a bag and you can carry it on, they will allow it, all right? And I took so knowing the rules, and I'm the type of person that will try to find a way to get around it. I took a blue sheet, a massive blue sheet, and I said, no way, I'm taking my bike. Look, JR, I'm taking this on. I don't care what you say. I'm taking the bike on. So I put the bike on the blue sheet and I wrapped the blue sheet around it. And I went to the home center and I bought some straps. It's like $1. And I tied the straps around it, 1 and 2, and I put it around my shoulder, and it was big. It was big. But I carried it on, it was wrapped, and the JR staff allowed me to take it onto the Shinkansen. So I got onto the Shinkansen and I took the straps and I had bungee wire, and I bungeed it and strapped it to the side of the wall inside of the Shinkansen, and it was fine. And when I got to Tokyo Station, it was the last station, I unbungeed it, I took it back out, I carried it. I looked pretty ridiculous, but I was able to get it out into Tokyo Station. I wheeled it, I opened up the blue sheets, put it in my backpack, and I rode home. But ideally, you want to be able to take off the tires, and you might want to do it a little bit better than me. Don't be stubborn. And this was like 15 years ago. 2005. No, wait. What is it? Yeah, 15 years ago. So don't follow in my footsteps, everybody. Caroline Hope. Hey, I will be there on April 28th to May 19th to go to Safari Park, Pokemon Center, Naruto Park, several parks, some museums, Fuji, Aomori, and other places. I have all with a sticker on maps, hee and an international license for Uruguay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I think that this sounds like a really great plan. And I saw you wrote in Aomori there. Aomori is one of the places that I'm hoping to get up to this year and just spend a month there. I'm trying to look at places to spend a month and live in the areas to get a feel for it and search out the stories. So for me, Tohoku, especially Aomori, is a place that I just have a kind of I don't know, synergy. I can feel I feel like I love the spirit of Aomori. They have the Pacific and the Sea of Japan, and they have the sea up in the north between. They're surrounded by sea and mountain. It seems to be a place that has got it all. And I'm curious to see how the culture is in the Sea of Japan there, and the culture is on the Pacific side, and kind of compare it all, because the cuisine is different as a result. It's a little bit different. So I'm looking forward to going up there. Aomori is a place of adventure, man. It's a fantastic place. Um, so thanks for that. I appreciate that very much. And Martha, hey Martha, #1 fan. Thank you. It's awesome. I love these. I love these animated emojis. It's like, when did that happen on YouTube? It just kind of popped up in there. Hey, Mariko is here. Mariko, I live in Kitami. Thank you for coming. I'm a friend of Choco Choco. Oh, hey! So Mariko, I was in Kitami about a month ago, last month in February, on one of the coldest days of the year. It was like -20, -18 in Kitami. So cold. And I filmed an episode that I'm editing now, but I was also filmed for a Japanese TV show, and they kept on bothering me. It was very hard to film up there, because I said, look, I only have like an hour to film this. Can you please go away? And they kind of did, but they filmed me, and that was it was kind of fun. Here's the picture of the episode when I was on TV. They asked me, what do you do for a living? And I said, I'm a YouTuber. They seemed to like that answer, and then they highlighted the show, and they put John Dobson, and that's pretty cool. A lot of people watched this, and people that I hadn't talked to in like 10 years had seen this episode of TV, and then said, hey, you're still alive. I said, yes, I am. I'm still doing what I'm doing. So, hey, Sean's here. How you doing, Sean? Thanks so much. Yeah, let's go back into some chats. Let's see what questions we have in here. That guy from Asia writes in here, hello John, going to Tokyo on March 19th. How are things in the city? Has it been less crowded lately? Yeah, in the city it's doing pretty good. I noticed there's a lot less foot traffic. I think whenever we walked around in other streams, you see it's about 30 to 40% less. And of course during the weekday at certain times it's just less people. That's natural, but I can tell there's not as many tourists. There just aren't. And the tourists that are here, they're more visible. All right? I can tell that the bus tours are gone. I can tell that all of the bus tours and all the tour groups are gone. When I walked around Ginza the other day, almost no buses, which was really refreshing. If there's there's not a lot of positives that have come through what's been going on for the last couple of months, but if there is one, pollution is way down because of less travel and because of factories being closed. Pollution is way down, and the air in Tokyo has never been cleaner. Is this funny? This is an observation I have to make. The air, there's a lot of pollen and the hay fever is bad. All right, take that away. The air has never been cleaner in terms of less pollution. It's kind of nice, actually. Just so that's sort of a plus. But I live here, so I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. It's okay. Let's see here. Hey John, we watch your videos on both channels. First time to catch you live on the Go channel. Hey, welcome. This is just if you're catching me here, I wish it was out there walking around the city. If this is your first one, this is one of these like episodes where I just tell you about travel in spring and answer your questions about this upcoming season. So it's not as exciting, but hopefully you can come and catch me when I walk tomorrow. Maybe in like 8 or 9 hours, we're going to be live streaming from a car. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hey guys, if you want to hit the like button, let's see if we can get to 500 likes before I end this thing. I always ask for them. You have to ask. Okay, so we got some pretty good questions here. I'm going to turn to the Discord server and look and see at some of the questions over there. Thank you, Jim, for moderating here. I'm still touching the screen here. Anybody? Hey, Luis is here. Thanks for all your videos throughout the years. They've helped us on 2 trips in Japan as to where to stay. Awesome. And S. Klein Gertz, hey John, I never knew you lived in Fujigaoka, Nagoya. I lived there for about 6 months, and it was really nice. I used to live in Tokyo for 20 years and live close to Hoshigaoka. Yeah, I think it's the same situation now wherever you live here. Yeah. You know, the thing about Fujigaoka, it was a test area for a lot of international stores, and there were 2 Mr. Donuts at Fujigaoka Station. One here, 2 stores, and then there was a second one. It was a new Mr. Donuts and an old Mr. Donuts. And whenever I went there to go to eat donuts, it was like, what do I want today, new or old? But they kept both stores. It was weird. Fujigaoka was also where they had the first Taco Bell. It was way back in, I think, 1998, or it was like in the late 90s, and it was a test store from Taco Bell. And everybody who went there, some of you already know this story, I've told it 100 times. Everybody went to this Taco Bell was confused because in Japan, nobody really knew what taco was. It's takosu in Japanese. Takosu is a taco, takosu. But a Taco Bell sounds like takoyaki. So people would go there expecting takoyaki, and they were getting Mexican food, or Tex-Mex, or American Mexican. I don't know what it is considered, but it confused people. So Taco Bell didn't do too good the first time. In fact, they're not. I don't know how well they're doing now because the menu is a little bit different than the U.S. But Fujigaoka is like Columbus, Ohio. It's like where they test the soul of Japan. Nagoya is like in the center. So you have the people from Tokyo and Osaka, and then you have in the middle. It's like Chicago. It's like the Midwest, you know. A little bit of everything there. I love Nagoya. Yeah, Guzman is around, but they're kind of new. They came around maybe 10 years ago, which I consider to be new. Speaking of Golden Week, part of my trip, this is from NIRL Rabbit. Speaking of Golden Week, part of my trip lines up with that. How do you figure Golden Week will be affected? You know, I don't really know, but I'm guessing that there's going to be less, it's going to be less busy than in past years. And I'm also guessing that people are going to be driving more. So the highways are going to be more packed. People are going to try to avoid local trains. And but to be honest with you, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I just can't see what the future is going to look like. Like, again, we don't know what it's going to look like next week, but it's hard to see how it is. But my guess is that people still be a little bit cautious, and public transportation will be down a little bit. Flights will be canceled. There won't be as many flights, so prices are probably going to go up for domestic tourists, domestic travelers. That's my feeling here. What is the most adventurous thing you have done? You mean besides hitchhiking, Kai? You like mountain zip lines, roller coasters, or anything on my adrenaline-seeking friends, and then anything accessible for me for my wheelchair? Thanks for asking that. Gosh, the most exciting things. You know, for me, I think that just hitchhiking has been one of the most adventurous things I did, and that's the reason why I stayed here, because when I did that cross-country trip, I did it because I didn't know if I wanted to stay. And then at the end of it, I really fell in love with Japan. I fell in love with the people. And whenever you decide that you want to come back again to visit Japan, the food is a good pull. But if you don't like the people, you don't come back, all right? So in 2003, when I hitchhiked the first time and did it again in 2017, I fell in love with the people again each time. It's just the genuine kindness of the people. Not everybody, but the people who do pick you up. They take you to a restaurant. They drive you to a station. They'll take you where you want to go. They ask you if you have a place to stay and really worry about you. That's something that made me really feel good, you know, and made me want to feel part of this community and really respect it. Not everybody is that nice, but the people who I've had a chance to interact with were pretty nice people. So that was really the most adventurous thing. Going out to the islands is a rush for me. I think you got to take a ferry to get there. Ogasawara. I love scuba diving. And if you can get into a scuba dive outfit, I'm not sure, and get into the water, it's an amazing experience to do that. Japan has some really amazing scuba diving in Okinawa and in Ogasawara, where I went, as well as some other islands in Tokyo. You can scuba dive there. But the rental equipment is a little bit expensive. It's a little bit pricier. But if you can afford it, which I can't as much as I would like to, it's an amazing thing to do. Especially if you're going down to Okinawa, adding in some scuba dives really gives you something to do besides sit on the beach and eat. The getting to Aogashima was pretty adventurous. The only way, well, you can get there by ferry, but helicopter is even more fun. And helicopter, the Hachijojima to Aogashima helicopter is considered public transportation, and it's subsidized by Tokyo. So you can take the 20-minute helicopter ride for $100 across the sea to Aogashima, limited to 7 people per day. You have to make a reservation a month in advance. Just put that out there. That was pretty adventurous and a lot of fun, and it was worth it, like 10 times over. If you ever watched that episode, that was great. As far as zip lines and stuff, I'm not really too much into that. Roller coasters, I used to be. Fuji Q is awesome, and there's a couple of other roller coasters. One at Tokyo Dome called Thunder Dolphin, which is really, really fast, I think, but like it's over in 45 seconds, I think. But that was really a good thrill. Now it's more about hiking, and you can do whitewater rafting here and skydiving as well. There's a lot of things that you can do in Japan. Speaking of which, probably in Kitami, I just saw Mariko there too. You're very welcome. I know that Kitami up in northern Hokkaido, Akanko, Lake Akan is a place that I'd love to go back to. That's not too far away from Kitami. I went there, it was like minus 25. The wind was awful. Don't even watch that live stream. It's dangerous. Some people said they suffered watching me suffer. All right, but I was fine. Like I'm okay. But it was so cold. I couldn't feel my face, and I'm running around live streaming. That was last month at Akanko. I went through a Ainu village. I saw people ice fishing, and I just panicked. I was unprepared, and I escaped, hiding behind buildings to escape the wind. I'd love to go back there in the summer. Hokkaido in the summer is a place of adventure, man. You can do biking. A lot of people rent motorcycles and just motorcycle around Hokkaido with the wide open roads. It's very much like the United States in that sense, going through mountains in a rent-a-car. I loved driving around Hokkaido. No traffic. No traffic. It's like this, everything is so wide open and big and relaxed up there. It's beautiful, and I can see myself renting either a bicycle or take my bicycle up there or rent a motorcycle if I get a license to do that and ride around for like 2 weeks. Would love to do that. That would be an adventure. That'd be a thrill. That's a summer. Hey, keep that for the summer live stream when we go over some of the events for that. It's gonna be awesome. Emily writes in here, do normal Shinkansen trains fit big luggage? I'm glad that you asked this. I'm spending 16 days in Japan, including a transfer to Osaka, so I'm worried my luggage is not going to fit. Emily, I can tell you this. The thing that annoys the local people the most are people who bring the luggage that's way too big. On a 16-day trip, I would pack half the amount and bring a smaller suitcase. I'm just saying this as someone who lives here. There's not a lot of, on public transportation, there's not a lot of space. If you're getting one of those big suitcases, you're better off getting 2 small ones or getting one medium-sized one and a backpack or something. But I wouldn't bring any of the oversized suitcases. Japan is just not set up like that. On Shinkansens, the only place, that's not exactly true. The best place is to put them behind the last row. In the last row in the cars, if you enter from there, you can get a chance to reserve that spot. Put your suitcase behind the seats in the last row. If you can't, you cannot put it above you. So on the Shinkansen, you have to put it in the seat with you. And it's such a pain in the neck. It's just not... I never saw people travel with this big of a suitcase until the tourist boom started in 2013 or 14. If you really need to bring that much stuff, it's going to be uncomfortable for you traveling around on the train. If you're thinking about just staying in Tokyo, maybe you can leave your bag at your first hotel and then make a reservation to stay there again in a week and just take a day bag with you or something. I don't see the benefit of taking a suitcase that big if you're just going to be traveling for 16 days. I took a backpack for 9 months, and I just did the laundry and bought the things that I needed and threw it away. Uniqlo is pretty cheap, where you can probably buy disposable underwear and t-shirts and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It just depends. Everybody travels differently. But if you're going to take public transportation, pack lighter. Medium-sized suitcase can go above on the rack, and it'll make your trip a lot better. You're going to be riding it a lot. Luggage transfer services are also an option. Takubin, which is pretty quick, but you will not have your stuff the next day. Sometimes it can take more than one day, depending on how far you go. So sometimes the travel services aren't the best option. Take what you need in a small bag, and this is what a lot of people have been doing. If you're bringing a big oversized suitcase, book the same hotel twice, and please ask them if you can leave your bag there for 1 week and travel around with a smaller suitcase or bag. You'll thank me later. You don't need all of that stuff. If you're going to be exploring and outside of the hotel room, then travel light. And note, I can't see Indiana Jones traveling with a suitcase that big. So it depends on what kind of adventure that you want. You can't bring your house with you. You know what I mean? I live here though. When I go out, my bag, I got a very small suitcase, and that's it. I'm like, if I can buy it on the road. Hey John, my 18 month son cannot stop watching. He's watching right now. He became a fan. It seems he will probably postpone our upcoming show. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Momo. Yeah, what's your son's name? I'm curious. How you doing? I like to entertain kids if I can. I can do this thing where I can freak out kids. If I suck my nose in, I can keep it there, and it freaks out kids. I can do it like that, and the kids. Some kids will cry though. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks. It's nice. I'm sorry to hear about your trip. Our power station says 46 minutes in. Thanks for the update. I'm just having fun. When I did a week's worth of travel, this is from just Joshin in Japan. When I had a week's worth of travel, I just used a slightly bigger Samsonite backpack. Every capsule hotel hostel I used had washing machines, so it cut down on the amount of clothing necessary. The Appa hotels and a lot of the hotels that I stayed in had washing machines on one of the floors. And one night I would just when I was hitchhiking, I never had a problem. I packed really light. Actually, I packed kind of heavy, but I should have packed lighter. I didn't have a problem doing the laundry anywhere. And there are laundromats as well, because Japanese don't have dryers in their houses. Not a lot of Japanese have dryers, so they need laundromats. They also use laundromats for bigger loads, like washing blankets and things like this, because they can't fit big washing machines. Like in the U.S., they have a little bit smaller ones. So if they need bigger ones, they'll go into a laundromat. So you never have a problem finding one. Even in the city of Tokyo, there are laundromats everywhere. I just keep that in mind, and maybe you want to spend an hour or two before you go to bed to watch a movie and relax, order room service. I don't know. Maybe do the laundry one night. Just do some of the essentials or something. But if that can cut down on the size of your suitcase, then it's totally worth it. You can also buy a lot of stuff here in Japan at places like Uniqlo or shopping malls, and whenever you wear that when you get back home, it's kind of special because you bought it in Tokyo, right? It's kind of cool. And if you pack light, you can always buy another suitcase and take back souvenirs in that other suitcase. And suitcases run like $15-20, right? So you can buy a cheap suitcase, put your stuff in there, and you can check that in on the way back, and it gives you that flexibility too. There you go. All right, I'm going to go over to our Discord thing. Mohammed Rez, is it safe for single travelers to visit Tokyo at the end of March or the beginning? What do you mean safe for single traveler? I don't see why it would ever be dangerous for a single traveler. I think it's always good. If you're traveling by yourself, you're never gonna. I mean, you're asking somebody who hitchhikes. I think it's always gonna be safe here. So, Yes. Yes. When did this program air? Oh, this one here? This one aired last month on like the middle of last month, I think. I don't know. Don't know. I didn't even watch it. I was at dinner. Me, Mike, and a friend of mine named Simon, we went out to dinner at an Okinawa restaurant. The three of us. Mike went back to the United States the next day. And yeah, Simon came out to eat. Here's just the three of us. I can pack quickly a duffel bag, put it. Oh, I'm glad that Mohammed liked that. Thanks. Please want to talk, Mr. Adob. Choco Choco Sabu. Let's turn to our Discord server before I say goodnight. So our Discord server is right here. I want to see if there's any questions. If you have a question, you can write it in the general chat. This is the Discord server, and I'm going to go into the general chat and then see if anybody's here. Is there anybody here? No, I'm the only one here. So if you want to, and you're a Discord member, you can actually talk to me and I can hear your voice. You can ask me questions live if you want to. Right now there's nobody in the general voice chat except for me. But if you're interested, you can leave. Oh, UFO Bob's here. Hey, UFO Bob, how's it going?
Hey, John.
Any question? How you doing? I gotta push this. Do you have any question?
No, I'm keeping my eyes on.
All right, no problem. Thanks for that. Softstar83 is here. Did you have a question? It looks like your microphone might not be on though. Yeah, microphone might not be on. Yeah, if you want to, I'll be on here for about 5 minutes or so, but I can talk a little bit. This Discord server is really cool because I can call a general voice chat and then talk with people if I'm in a waiting room or just hanging out. It's kind of neat like that. But we have chat groups for traveling, video, to exchange photos, cultural questions, food and drink places, like new places. There's even a language study and a meetups place. So if you're coming to Japan, it gives you a chance to talk to somebody. We also have live cameras around Japan, and any question that you have, we have a Hanami, a cherry blossom 2020 discussion going on here. So yeah, it's kind of neat to be able to go into all these chat groups and then interact and get information on things that is really interesting to me. This is where you would go if you're interested. Okay, I want to talk, but I'm shy. Okay, no problem. I'm not gonna force anybody. That's discord.gg/only in Japan is this. I've been using it for like 6 months now. It's really, really cool to be able to interact. It's something more that I can do with Patreon supporters. We have our own thing where we have something, our own special chat groups. And if you're a Postcard Club member, I got this one from Kyoto. I'm going to be sending this out the day after tomorrow with an Olympic stamp on it, the limited edition Olympic torch stamp. Yeah, you can only get it at like this certain time. So that's going out on the 11th of March. So I think there's 7 left if you're interested in that. Oh wow, okay, we got a couple more people in here. Hey Katayama, did you have a question? Oh wow, okay, we got a couple more people in here.
Not really, just doing the moderation thing.
Hey Andy, do you have a question?
I said, would you recommend going to Himeji?
Ah, Himeji. Yeah, I used to live in a town called Kakogawa, which was about 20 minutes away from Himeji, so I would go there quite often and got really used to seeing that beautiful castle. Absolutely, I think Himeji is one of the most picturesque castles. Now, they renovated it about 3 years ago, and it's too white. It's like if somebody whitens their teeth and it's such a bright white, that's the kind of feeling I get now after the renovation. It's like too white. It looks almost Disney-esque, but it's one of these places I think you really do have to stop and walk around it. And during the spring and the cherry blossom seasons, it's so beautiful. Any fan of the James Bond movie You Only Live Twice has to go there because that's where the ninja training scene was filmed. Not Osaka Castle, but Himeji Castle. such a beautiful little town. It's a castle town, and from the station you can walk to the castle in about 20 minutes, I think, and there's loads of shops on the way there. You probably end up with a suitcase full of souvenirs coming back too. Yeah, absolutely, I would recommend that, Andy. Thanks. All right, now we got like 20 people in the voice chat. I'll try to call in a couple people here. Let me see here. A lot of you don't have your microphones attached, so I'm gonna say, Alex, did you have a question?
You mean me?
Okay.
Hey, John.
How's it going? Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say hi.
Oh. How's it going? Thanks for that. Does anybody have a question? You can go ahead and just, you don't have to raise your hand. Just ask, because I'm going to tune off in about a minute.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
When are you going to do another midnight?
Very good question. For certain reasons, Kanai has been very worried about me going out late at night. But let's just say I got to go out, and I like to, when I edit, I usually edit in the middle of the night. So I got to go out and get a midnight snack. All right, let's say now it's March. We're going out tomorrow. All right, you know what? I'll try to do one this week. Why not? I'm going to see if I can go out and do one this week. The weather is warmer now. I can ride my bicycle and get around. So sometime this week, maybe Friday.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we can get somebody to join me. I don't know if Solares is around town, but it's always a lot of fun to have a co-partner in there. And if not, it's pretty cool just to wander around the neighborhoods. It's different, the city of Tokyo is different, or anywhere, after hours. And when everybody goes to bed, there's sort of a different vibe. Yeah. Different vibe. All right, so guys, this is the voice chat. Thanks so much for tuning in to this. I'm going to use this more at the end of some of these live streams to ask for questions. And yeah, some people are using this for the first time. I think we're finding more people turning their microphones on. But
John, I had a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was like saving up cash because I just got a job recently. So like after maybe 1 or 2 years, I might be able to come to Japan like for a visit solo. So
I can't really hear.
like good places for me to think of, because like I go through videos.
No one likes to talk, it seems like.
All of that more like in an organized manner to plan like any trip if I can.
Okay. All right, so I'm muting this. By the way, if you do that, you're probably going to get banned from the server. Just going to say, we have like 10 moderators right now. So you probably don't want to, I think the question was, and you can direct mail me your question. It was very hard to hear because the audio, I think, on your microphone was down. But the question was, I believe, about for solo travelers and coming in, and I didn't quite understand the question, but I think I could just try to answer some question. Yeah, I visit Japan. It's awesome. I don't know. Just direct message me. I couldn't quite hear it. I don't think you guys could hear it either. It's sometimes you can't pick it up. Thanks so much. The Discord server, this is a general voice chat that we have. It's really, really cool. Maybe not doing it live, but if I can get people to direct message me and we can work out the questions in advance. I want this to be a tool where we can communicate really, really effectively. And instead of hearing just me, if you can hear each other, if you can hear the people that's watching on the other side asking questions that's relevant to something that you're interested in, I think that there's a lot more value to this channel. And that's sort of where I want to take this, give more opportunities to bring you with me. Because that's how I feel when I do these live streams and I go to a place or a location around Japan and I go live on this Only in Japan Go channel. I really feel that you're here with me. because the first time I was backpacking in 1996, I went on a solo trip. I was really nervous. I was 23 years old, and I never traveled really outside of the U.S. And I bought a Eurail pass, and I bought an airplane ticket, and I just went. I didn't even have any hotel reservations. I just had some friends and some phone numbers. And I flew into London, and then I took the Eurostar over to Paris. And this is when traveling blew my mind. Everything that I'd been studying through high school and college, just it hit me when I stood there in front of the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre in Paris. This was in 1996. And I'm like, I can't even, like, I had no words. I'm standing in front of something that I've been seeing in pictures, and it's right there in front of my eyes. It just blew me away, the power of travel. But at that time, there was no real internet. There were some internet cafes in 96. People sent postcards and letters. I felt really lonely too. And I didn't really have a way to like talk to the person next to me and go, isn't this awesome? I just wanted to share the moment, and there was nobody to share the moment with. Actually, there weren't as many tourists at that time either. Traveling was a little bit, actually traveling was pretty easy too. I'm not sure why more people didn't travel, but that's when I got into the travel bug, and that might be the gateway trip to why I'm here in Japan too. But I understand that, you know, when I go live, I always remember that, and I know that at any time I can be sharing this experience, you know, standing in front of Tokyo Tower this time, and bring you with me. So that's why I think that this has a lot of value. And if I can bring you with me, like literally, and I can talk with you, and then you can ask me questions, boy, that tower is really building, and really high, and I can say, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Just even that simple interaction makes me feel pretty cool. And when you come and you do find me and I give you the You Found Me card, to me that's pretty special because, you know, at that place, at this time, at this place, and after being watching this digitally, we are meeting actually in person. That is so cool, is that not? Like, and I'm even harder to catch than Tokyo Tower because I'm moving all the time. So if you can catch me, all right, you can go and catch Tokyo Tower, but if you can catch me, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Very good. So I want to take a look here. We got in some questions. Zato71, it's much appreciated from Australia. And Miguel, I'm still waiting for a documentary with your main channel, John. By the way, I'm sorry for your hairline. I'm not. I'm not going to stay at this age forever. And I'm very happy. And I don't mind at all. Yeah, there you go. I think that's about it. Shane wrote in here, ever think about doing an episode on the all crazy bugs and insects? Spent 8 days in the countryside. Tons of millipedes and spiders and house centipedes. You know, there's actually in Meguro, there's a museum dedicated to insects and bugs, like the Tokyo Bug Museum. And I've always thought about going there. That and the Sewage Museum were the two museums that just blew me away. But bugs are interesting. And Japan has some pretty unique ones. I remember camping in Hachijojima on an island out in Tokyo. And I woke up early in the morning, because you do that when you're camping. On the side of my tent was this bug with this nose and this massive looking claw on the front of it. I'd never seen an insect like that before. I'm sure that's in other places of Asia, but it was really freaky. So there's a lot of neat things that you can study about bugs, and there's a museum for it. So I might go do that on a live stream. How do you make those elaborate plastic food displays at restaurants? Writes in Botanica Stig. I wonder if they're I actually went and filmed an episode of this, so I'm just waiting to upload this soon. I'll talk about that later. Hey, Yvonne is here. Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I missed some of these super chats. Here's one from Canada, Jonathan Lim. ¿Por qué Pikachu está escondido? John, are you planning a Japan update after the 15th? I am. I hope you mean that Pikachu right there. Yes, he's right there. And this is the... Here it is. This is the Asahi Beer cherry blossom label. It's kind of neat, huh? That's the regular super dry. It just looks cherry blossomy. I'm planning another update for everybody who wants to get in more into travel updates on the situation. on the 10th, and then a lot of things will be reopening on the 15th and 16th. But I'm planning on doing a thorough one after there's a speech discussing what's going to be happening in the next 2 weeks, and then I'll do another travel update from a location in Tokyo, so then you can get an idea of what it's like right here. For me, this is so important for you who are thinking to come here in the next few weeks to see what it's like. And anytime you can give me some feedback by email or Instagram. I try to check all the social medias. Send me a question that you have about a real concern that you have about traveling that might be unique about a place or situation, and I'll try to go there and answer it for you. A lot of the ideas that I get come from you, come from people. So I think that's the best way to run this program. And if this can be a way to take you live and you can see what it's really like out there and observe for yourself, that'll help everybody. And that's what I can do. I think that's a value of having a live streaming channel. You can just take people with you and then show you right now, right here, and you can make your own without any editing and no story. That's it. You can see it, and that's pretty cool. It's like a live camera, but with a dude to talk to you and tell you what's going on. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, guys, have a good day. Have a good night. I think that's about it. If you have any more questions, you can leave the comments below, and I will be very happy to answer it because I kind of look at them for the next day. Tomorrow, Kanai and I are renting a car, and we're going to be driving to Mount Fuji. I'm taking you with me, so don't worry. I'll try to give you some heads up, usually about a 30 or 45-minute heads up before we go live, and share with you something really beautiful from the Japanese countryside tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. Have a good Sunday for everybody in the United States. I'll see you a little bit later. Bye-bye.